I'm going to compare skiing and snowboarding so you can figure out which sport is right for you, or if it's time to make the swap. I'll break them down into 4 parts: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. We'll look at the pros and cons of each sport, and by the end, you'll have a clear sense of which one fits you best. To make this fair, I've talked to skiers and snowboarders at every level, so this isn't just my opinion, it's a mix of real experience from both sides. Both sports need quite a bit of gear to get started. Ski gear is more expensive up front, but it usually lasts longer. Snowboard gear is cheaper, but you'll need to replace things more often. The best way to get started affordably is buying used gear. Hard goods like boards, bindings, and boots can cost $1,200 to $2,500 new, and that's before you add jackets, helmets, goggles, pants, mitts, socks, and base layers, all expensive when new. Luckily, both sports have what I call trickle-down gear economics. People constantly chasing the new models and selling their last season's equipment in great condition. You can also find big end-of-the-season sales where gear goes for 40% off or more. If there's one thing you shouldn't cheap out on, it's boots. Ski boots are stiffer and less comfortable, but they can handle 100+ days on the mountain. Snowboard boots are softer and cheaper, but they're usually built for fewer than 100 days. That said, some snowboard boots are so comfortable, I've seen people wear them out to the bar after riding, something you will never see with ski boots. Both can still cause pressure points or rubbing that can lead to serious foot problems, so I highly recommend getting fitted properly at a shop. This is where the biggest differences start to show. Skiing has a more intuitive learning curve. The movements feel natural. You can move both feet independently and you'll be cruising green and blue runs pretty quickly. Snowboarding, on the other hand, is not easy at first, even if you've skateboarded or surfed before. This is because you have to learn 2 base positions, toe edge and heel edge, and how to move between them smoothly. Those transitions are easier with some speed, but way harder when you're crawling along learning. That means lots of falls, not usually hard ones, just quick, unexpected ones. So I always suggest beginners wear butt pads and knee protection. Skiing also wins on flat terrain, since you can use your poles or ski walk through it. Snowboarders have to unstrap, which can get annoying fast. If you're only planning to ride a few days a year and want something relaxing, go with skiing. It's the fastest route to enjoying the mountain. It's more forgiving, more approachable, and you'll be comfortable much faster. And I say that as someone who absolutely loves snowboarding, but it can take a season or 2 before you really feel in control. Because there's a lot of little movements you need to learn, like pushing, standing still on a run, or getting comfortable on a chairlift, and getting off the chairlift. All of these little challenges can be surprisingly annoying for beginners. Skiing doesn't have nearly as many of these small quirks. If you do want to learn to snowboard, watch tutorials, wear protection, and focus on fundamentals before chasing speed or steeper runs. For both sports, when you fall, go with the momentum. Don't try to catch yourself with your hands. Wrist injuries are super common in beginners. Most bad falls happen when people ride too upright and extend. Bend your knees and stay stacked over your board or skis. Intermediate. This is where most people spend their time and where the sports start to diverge. Intermediate skiers usually start exploring steeper runs, trees, and moguls. Skiing at this level handles poor snow, ice, or bumps way better than snowboarding. A skier can have the best day of their season on a day a snowboarder might do 1 lap and go home. Because skis move independently, you're less likely to slip out on icy patches, and moguls naturally fit how skis turn, while snowboards take a wider, slower line and are focused on one edge point. Intermediate snowboarders are often still fighting edge catches, struggling with deep powder, and working on edge control. It's a stage where you either need dedicated training or a lot of trial and error to break through. But that doesn't mean it's not fun. You start getting glimpses of what makes snowboarding amazing. Carving, flow, that feeling of gliding edge to edge. Intermediate snowboarders usually prefer good snow, mellow slopes, and flowy terrain. It's also a very tiring stage. Snowboarding takes a lot more energy than skiing until you can move efficiently. If you just want to ride casually, see more of a mountain, and not push into advanced territory, skiing is more practical. It's more social, easier to stop and chat, and more forgiving on energy and terrain variety. Snowboarding at this level feels great in moments, but until you learn proper body mechanics, it won't unlock its full potential. Skiing is also much easier to maintain as you get older. You can be a mediocre skier and still have fun for decades. Advanced. This is where snowboarding starts to shine. Once you can transition seamlessly from heel edge to toe edge while staying centered, the whole mountain opens up. Linking turns on a snowboard feels like a full body motion. Longer, smoother, and more connected than on skis. Advanced snowboarders can use every little bump, side hit, and cat track creatively. You don't need gnarly terrain to have fun. And then there's powder. Riding powder on a snowboard is unreal. It's floaty, surf-like, and ridiculously fun. You can tweak, pop, and play with movement. It's an incredibly expressive way to ride the mountain. Here's an important difference from skiing. On a snowboard, you're putting all your weight on one edge at a time. That makes icy slopes, bumps, and variable snow much more likely to throw you off. Snowboarding is a more conditional sport. You really want good snow to ride at your best. Skiing, on the other hand, is more adaptable. You can enjoy ice, bumps, and chopped up terrain much more easily, and a skier can make a lot more fun out of a lot more runs. Advanced skiing is also awesome. Faster turns, more control, more confidence in steep terrain. At the expert level, both sports are as fun as they get, just in different ways. Expert skiers dominate big mountain terrain. They handle cliffs, ice, and afternoon chop faster and easier than snowboarders. That's why they tend to chase steeper, more extreme lines. Expert snowboarders can ride the same terrain, but heavy chop and moguls are much riskier to bomb through. So while expert skiers chase the most extreme runs, expert snowboarders usually chase the most fun runs. Skiing is more forgiving. Landing in powder or adjusting balance mid-air is easier on two skis. That opens up more risk and creativity, but also means people push harder. Snowboarding can give you that same level of challenge with less risk, because even small natural features can be technically satisfying to ride. In the park, both are incredible. Skiers tend to rotate more and go technical, while snowboarders bring more style, flow, and creativity. It's the same trade-off. Skiing rewards precision, snowboarding rewards expression. Both skiing and snowboarding are amazing, and whichever you choose, you're getting into one of the best sports in the world. People on both sides will tell you their sport is the best, and honestly, they're both right. That said, this is where I have to admit I'm extraordinarily biased. Snowboarding is so much cooler. I find the range of motion, the way you can generate and control power, and the playfulness of a snowboard far more visually appealing than high-level skiing. I've never tried skiing at a high level, so I can't comment on how it feels, but I can tell you from my experience, high-level snowboarding is one of the best sensations you can ever get. Even though snowboarding might be harder to get into, it's really worth it in my opinion. There's so much training and preparation you can do off the mountain, but if you're passionate and willing to put in the work, you can become an amazing snowboarder just as fast as a skier. There are just more base principles you need to learn first, but after you do, linking them together feels just as natural as anything on skis. And I'm planning to help put out and create some really good videos on the basics this year that should drastically speed up and streamline how to get good on a snowboard. Because even though I have boundless respect for skiers, I'm a snowboarder until the day I die.